All right, we are all set up with Silent Hill 3. So I will pass this over now to Abbiescorner for a run of new game, no quick save or quick load. Take it away.
Well, hello there, everybody. You may have seen that I was in the load screen, and that's so a song doesn't play repeatedly. I hope you're ready for new game, no QSQL, and with me, I have the fantastic Zokubun on commentary.
Hello, I'm Zoku. I have not played this game, not even to speedrun it. So we're just gonna have a fun time and talk about the importance of being safe in this run.
Yes, and about lots of other things. So without any further ado, in 3, 2, 1, begin the run. So right now we're being put into Nightmare theme park, because of course, what horror game doesn't begin in a haunted theme park with bunny rabbits and whatnot? Because of course there's bunny rabbits here. What game is complete without those? And right now we're going to go get punched in the face a lot.
I mean, this is really, we were talking about this right before, but this is really the theme park experience. You go to a theme park, if there's lots of people there, then you hate it. If there's no people there, then you still hate it. And especially the mascots. They're the worst.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't been to a theme park in like 20 years.
I mean, this mascot is also the worst because they're just doing the right punches, right?
Well, we got a left punch in the beginning. You want 2 left punches and then a punch. Although if you're really experienced, you can get 3 in a row, which is the benefit. It's like 25 seconds IGT, or in our case, LRTA. Unfortunately, back in December, some shenanigans were found out, and it kind of turned this game entirely upside down. Yay. And bunch of rules changed, but the LRTA, which is only available on the PC version, is pretty much IGT. It's just minus the thing that caused the shenanigans to begin with.
I mean, I just admitted I don't run this game, but that feels like par for the course with Silent Hill shenanigans. For those of you who are not familiar with Silent Hill 3, hi, we're Heather. We're a teenage girl, and that includes everything being a teenage girl entails, which means being at the mall. That opening cutscene, don't worry about it. Like I said, theme parks are the stuff of nightmares. That's just Heather having a fond memory. But we're at the mall here, and somehow it's closing time. We fell asleep at the diner. We were troubling those poor service workers. And now we need to get home. Something we did just miss a little earlier because, sorry, Silent Hill. We went to see Bread. And
yes.
And now Bread is gone. But we went and got the tongs. We got the keys. We're basically trying to get out of the mall. I don't know why it's all scattered. Look, this mall needs a change in management.
The reason we're trying to escape the mall is because Douglas, a private investigator, is bugging us for some unknown reason. We were supposed to grab our dad a thing, but we never found the thing, and so we called him on the phone, 8914. And it was like, I couldn't find you that thing you wanted. And it was like, oh, I hit that wrong. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. And then Douglas just comes up and it's like, hey, aren't you so-and-so? And it's like, leave me alone, stranger danger. And that's why we were in the bathroom there when we started after the nightmare. It's because she's trying to escape, but then there was the van, so we went back into the mall through the back way, and we don't know how Heather knows her way through the back end of the mall, but she does.
This game is just an entire long commentary on stranger danger, honestly.
Fair. And now we have dogs that want to take a bite out of crime, because of course they do. And fun fact, if you ever play the demo version for the PlayStation 2, it ends right as we hit the end of the elevator. And then hopefully when we come back through, these two won't be in a mood to make a sandwich. We can only hope. Meanwhile, we need to grab the flashlight. Fun fact, you can actually soft lock yourself if you were doing QSQL unrestricted. Also a thing that happened when all the shenanigans happened in December. This game kind of got 60 categories out of nowhere. 60 categories total, and it's just kind of like, oh, all right then. And then, again, skipping the closers. And now, are we going to have the sandwich making? No, they are too far apart. Lucky us.
They had lunch today. So let's jump back real quick. You mentioned 60 categories. You are running no quick save, quick loads. The other main one is quick save, quick load because doing that lets you do certain glitches. But
Yes.
this one does not, right?
Correct. The only difference between true glitchless, as it's called, and no QSQL is the fact that there's going to be two parts near the end of the game where we literally hit a button and walk through a door. Those are two different things for two different parts, but that's the only difference, whereas true glitchless is like, no, you're not allowed to do that. However, even true glitchless still allows at least one glitch, and that's apparently the quickfire glitch. We won't be using the quickfire glitch because I don't understand what the quickfire glitch is. So that's a thing. But yeah, we're just running through, doing our thing. But yes, there's unrestricted QSQL, no monster out of bounds QSQL. Then there's no QSQL, and then there's true glitchless, and there's about 8 categories apiece for each of them. And then console categories, which are their own thing across PS2, the HD collection, and PS3 / loading the game off of a hard drive. So,
Truly, there's a Silent Hill 3 run for everybody.
yes. Also, we are now introduced to bees. They're very loud, you see. Also, we forgot to mention raptors and how they multiplied in the beginning, but it's fine. And also, somehow, we get a moonstone from a walnut. Keep in mind, we just cracked the walnut, so that means somebody cracked a walnut previously and then put that in there and then glued it back together to the point where you needed to crack it again. Somebody is way too into crafting, I have to say.
I mean, I wish they'd give me a present. Moonstones are nice and shiny.
And we're going to put it in a door, believe it or not.
Oh, in that case, they can keep their moonstone.
Indeed. And we're about to come across the first boss, which is a giant worm. And we'll possibly need to do dances with worms in order to get past it.
That's the sequel to the Kevin Spacey movie I really wish they'd made.
Is it Dances with Wolves?
I believe so. I've also never seen that movie.
All right, so here we go. Fun fact, if you play on a higher difficulty, such as normal, you can fall off the edge. There's no invisible wall. And so it's like, you gotta be more careful because you will fall off to your death and have to restart all over again. So here we go. And in QSQL, you would play on normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can take 6 shots. I mean, that's why we're doing dances with worms, to make sure that he doesn't run away, because he has a chance to run away.
Yeah, you
but
kept
by
him out there.
forcing him into an attack, it's like, haha. And now we're leaving the mall. We're gonna run back into Douglas, and Douglas is gonna be like, what are you talking about? I'm responsible for this. Because you're working with a cult, good sir. That is why this is happening. Because you're working with a cult. You're a very terrible private investigator. And now we're in the subway. And if you catch it close enough, you'll witness a movie reference. But before that, there's Minmo.
Growing strong and healthy.
Indeed. And also apparently giving you laser eye beams, because that's apparently a thing that Minmo can do. Don't question these things. And like I said, blink and you'll miss it, but there's the movie reference. I don't know if you caught it or not. Haha, we're gonna see the movie reference a bunch of more times. But again, blink and you might miss it. As we head downstairs to see more dogs, as we need yet another nutcracker, because of course. Although, to be fair, they call this a nutcracker, but it looks more like something you would use on cars. But that's just me. Because you're going to tell me that that looks like a nutcracker. I vehemently disagree.
It does look kind of like a winch, you're right.
And then we go back up. And they're kind of aggressive, but at least they're out of my way. Yesterday, they decided to be in my way for a good 6 seconds, and it's like, oh dear. So here we go. We have to break a lock using a nutcracker, and to be fair, I don't think a nutcracker can, again, break chains.
Well, you know,
I'm just saying.
there's that piece of hardware that is called a nut, like the one that gets paired with a bolt. So
Okay, that is also fair.
that could just be a
shotgun.
reference to cracking those kinds of nuts.
True. And then, of course, this guy spawns after we grab the shotgun. And then we head on down. Also, I am playing on 2D controls. A lot of runners use 3D controls. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm the only PC runner that uses 3D controls. There is only one other runner, and they happen to have the world record in Silent Hill 2 and almost every world record in Silent Hill 1. And the reason they play on 2D controls is because they don't want to mess up their Silent Hill 2 gameplay, because Silent Hill 2 is also 2D controls, as is Silent Hill 4. Silent Hill 3 is 3D controls, though it's not really experimented on what exactly the optimal control scheme is for this game. It's just everybody uses 3D controls. So that's a thing. Also, we're going to count these garbage cans. After the third one, we can start heading towards the stairs. If you try to go before the third one, there's a chance you can hit a bench or another pillar or even one of the other trash cans, which is not exactly what we want. There's the movie reference one more time. You might be asking yourselves, what is the movie reference exactly? It's a reference to Jacob's Ladder starring Tim Robbins. So, yeah, that's the reference. And now we're in a subway with raptors. And depending how we get hit by these raptors, it could be 0.7 seconds of time loss or 4 seconds, but we didn't get hit.
That was a nice dodge. Excellent dodge. You might be wondering why Abby counted the trash cans. That has to do with the 2D versus 3D movement that she was just talking about earlier. In 2D movement, the camera changes based off how you're moving, if I'm understanding this correctly. Whereas
Yes.
3D is basically tank controls. And because Abby does 2D movement, in order to not change the camera, she counts the garbage cans to get herself the point at which she should move towards the stairs.
Yes, because unfortunately the camera is its own monster in 2D controls, whereas 3D controls, you have more control over the camera, so you don't have to work with it. You can just do what you want, whereas 2D controls, it's like, no, the camera's kind of there to tell you what to do, because if you try to do something else, no. Also, welcome to bees that walk. They're far more scarier than bees that fly. Because they have a better chance to hit you for some reason. I don't know why. Also, I neglected to mention that there's giant raptors now. Isn't that fun? For example, this giant raptor right here has the potential to cause 8 seconds worth of time loss because he has 2 opportunities to hit you, 4 seconds of time loss apiece. So that's fun. I've never had it happen to where he's caused the 8 seconds, but I've had it to where he can cause 4. And sometimes the little raptor can block him from hitting you. That's the headbutt. The headbutt move kind of has the most opportunity to cause that time loss. It's not very fun. So here we go. Also, if there's any donations or promotions, now would be a good time.
Yeah, while we don't have any new donations that have come in that I have to read, I do want to remind everyone that we have that incentive open, the bid war for Faint the Dog versus Pet the Dog for Pokemon Scarlet. So make sure if you're putting in your donations, !donation, put in the comments if you would like to donate towards that bid war and which one you would like to select, Faint the Dog or Pet the Dog. Pet the Dog is still winning by a considerable margin, so you can either continue to keep it in the lead or try and sway that in the other direction if you're feeling a little chaotic. So remember to get those in and put down what you want to put that donation towards in the comment.
And friends, I have to let you know, I just found out earlier today what the difference between pet or Faint the Dog is. And I just want to say, come on. You can't let the dog win. This is how they get you with those puppy eyes. You want to faint the dog. Trust me on this.
Yeah, this is Pokemon. Like, we faint the dog, right?
I
Right?
believe
Yes.
so. Also, I mean, you saw just how aggressive those dogs were towards Abby. Just no mercy for dogs.
Indeed. So when crossing that bridge, do not adjust your movement till the camera's back behind you, because movement is still keeping it as if the camera was behind you, but when the camera is to the side like that, you'll go a little off balance and kind of very much go out of what you want. Always wait for the camera to be behind you before changing movement on 2D controls at least. Also, we're coming up to the point where we're going to perform our first bounce. Bouncing is important because, again, camera doesn't like us, and again, we're going to keep our position the same. It's actually pretty good. And come on, Heather, thank you. So the reason I call it a bounce is because it almost looks like I'm bouncing off of the trash collector when going to grab the dryer. Although I call it dryer bounce because that's what we're going to grab. And now that we have it, we can keep going. There we go. And again, we're about to say goodbye to the last giant raptor of the run. Or this is the last one right here. Raptors are almost leaving the run, but we still have a few more that we have to come across. And now we are going to deal with Splitworm Jr., who is insta-death if we try to cross this bridge. So that's why he needs to die, because otherwise we die as he drowns us.
Once again, the story of Silent Hill 3 is safety in all forms. Stranger danger, maybe don't put the dryer in the water. And
But
avoid
also
bees.
somehow knowing how to go through a sewer, it seems a little weird.
I
That
thought
a
these were all just
17-year-old
normal teenage girl things.
I guess.
Now, what I've learned is we've missed out on childhood here.
Now, you may notice that the camera's behind me. However, if you try to adjust your movement while on the flat part, Heather acts as if the camera's to the side of her, and it's really weird. So you want to wait till you're back up the stairs before adjusting movement. And there we go, we're done with the sewers. And now we're going through an abandoned building. Isn't that fun? Again, we say that this game is all about safety and stranger danger and not messing with bees and whatnot, yet Heather gets into really dangerous situations. And it's just like, what are you doing? Always weird. So, we're just climbing up the building. We're eventually going to jump down a rather large hole, because of course we are, and our only protection is a mattress. God knows how long that mattress will have been on the ground for, or what's on the mattress, so it's like, oh. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention back when we asked for donations and whatnot, you may have noticed an extended black screen. During that black screen, and all black screens, I'm adjusting my thumb on the thumbstick to the position that I need to be able to make a turn better. So that is a thing that you can do, because again, you're not doing anything because the game is loading something in. And so it gives us that opportunity to adjust to have better movement. And now we're getting towards the second bounce, which is rope bounce, and it likes to be the most finicky of the 3 bounces. There we go. Thank you, Heather, for not trying to talk to the desk 800 times. And of course, more aggressive dogs. Isn't that nice? And we're coming up to the final raptors here as we go get a jack to open up the elevator on the 3rd floor. Here we go. Go into the auto parts. Whoops, I wasn't quite there. There's the last 2 raptors. Pick up the health drinks, because we're going to need those for when we're running through Silent Hill. By the way, Silent Hill 3 doesn't start in Silent Hill. It doesn't get to Silent Hill until about halfway through the game. There we go. We're heading back down to the 3rd floor. And soon, some shenanigans are going to happen, but I'm not going to mention those shenanigans until they happen. So Heather uses the jack to open the elevator door a bit more, and then uses a rope. We never see where she ties this rope to, because it's not tied to the jack. It's tied to something else as she climbs down it. We have no idea how that works, but it's a thing. And now, time for some fun shenanigans, as a very clean bathtub sends us to hell. I don't know if the developers were trying to say something with that, but it's happened.
Just as a reminder for those of you in chat, we were in an office building. Why is there a bathtub in an office building? Don't worry about it.
Exactly. And then we just met Vincent. Again, grabbing the 3rd health drink. We need 3 health drinks specifically for running through Silent Hill. And then we need 3 for healing against God in the final boss fight. However, you can get away with 2. However, it depends how much health you have when going into the final boss fight. If we're in the yellow, we will need to use all 3. If we're not in the yellow, we may only need to use 2. And of course, right now we're going to pick up some rotting pork liver. Delicious stuff. And then we need to go back up to the 5th floor to pick up some matches, because Heather's is about to do a little bit of arson. Not gonna lie. Also, I forgot to introduce y'all to Slurpers, because Slurpers are a new enemy that only show up in Hell Apartments, as well as Hell Hospital and Hell Church. So here we go. Now you might be noticing that I'm not interacting with it on the bucket, despite the fact that in the cutscene she puts it all in the bucket. The game likes to kind of trick you on where you're supposed to put some certain interactables with. Oh, very good. We made it through Murder Hallway without ever getting hit.
Those were some nice dodges.
Yes.
Sometimes the enemies in this game really like to get in your way.
Yes. And then we pick this up. This room can be a bit of a hassle when you first start out, because the camera likes to change a lot. There's a couple rooms where it's like, oh no, where the camera just likes to spin depending how you go. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. And now we're going back down to the 1st floor, because Heather was really thirsty, so that's why she got a can of soda. However, there wasn't any soda in that can. There was a key in that can instead. So Heather is still probably very parched and has no liquid to, what's the word? Quench that thirst. So that's a bit unfortunate. And then, of course, we read the magic words, and the monster at the front leaves. Now Vincent was in this office and somehow just got to leave, which leads me to question, how did you get out? Did you just go through the front door, or did you jump out of a window for some reason? Very confusing. Also, don't interact with that book. Well, it doesn't cause the timer to go. It will waste RTA, which is very bad. However, if you turn off the flashlight, Heather won't notice that book. However, Heather can't see a lot of things without the flashlight on, so we don't turn it off usually. And now we're on our way home. Quickly going. Almost there. We have saved the day, right? Wrong. We have found out that our father has been murdered. And then we find out it was all Claudia's fault, and now we're going to avenge the death of our father by killing our father's murderer, who stands before us.
Claudia, if you missed her, was there in that split-second moment in the mall, further propagating the truth that strangers are danger.
Yes, although supposedly Claudia is Heather's mother. Supposedly. Allegedly. Also, fun fact with that boss fight, as we got the quick kill, that fight will not end until you kick the missionary to death. You'll just sit there on that screen forever until the hit is made. And now we have driven to Silent Hill, and during that cutscene, Douglas mentions James. Not by name, but how he was sent to Silent Hill years ago to find James, but never did. And now we're finally in Silent Hill running, and if you ever want to know how to get through Silent Hill, you want to follow this red car, keep going forward, then we're going to see a white van. Keep going forward past the white van until this fence ends. Then we're going to head into the gas station repair shop, and we're going to see a lovely ice cream truck. Once we're past the ice cream truck, we're going to heal to make sure that we keep running at top speed. Then we're going to see two cars. Sometimes we might only see one of them, but one of them is white, the other one is blue. Keep going forward. Also, you can go into Heaven's Night. Don't go into Heaven's Night because there's nothing really there for us. Also, the song from Silent Hill 2 doesn't play. I'm very disappointed in you Silent Hill 3 devs. It should have played. Now follow along the fence, and we're gonna see two red signs. After the two red signs, we're at the entrance of the hospital. But also, fun fact, if you ever want to know when these games take place, Silent Hill 0 takes place in the 70s, Silent Hill 0 also being known as Silent Hill Origins in the West. Silent Hill 1 takes place in the 80s, Silent Hill 2 takes place in the 90s, specifically 1993, and Silent Hill 3 takes place in 2001. How do you come to that conclusion? There is a phone call that you can find in the hospital, where it is I don't exactly know, where a voice wishes Heather a happy 35th happy 31st birthday, which is the age of Alyssa from Silent Hill 1, which is supposedly who we are. We're actually a reincarnation of Alyssa. Just a fun fact. Heather is actually not named Heather, she's named Cheryl, the name her father gave her. Also, 10:52 is our time, so we're going to put that in here to open it up. Also, I may have just spoiled the ending of the game, my bad. Sorry, everyone, that I did spoilers. Also, in the reimagining of Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, the Heather name carries over, as Cheryl's full name is Cheryl Heather Mason. And then we're going back down to the first floor to see the world's most amazing art piece, not in a museum, far better than anything Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael ever did, far better than Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, far better than anything Picasso ever drew. I present you said art piece, because what art piece doesn't have a beetle, a teddy bear, and a spoon, re-equip the shotgun, and use the nail polish remover? Even if we know that the key is there, you must interact with the art piece in order to peel off the key. And now we have access to the staircase. There we go, as we head down to the basement yet again. And now we take a picture of this wall to reveal a passcode, which is 3294. Everybody remember 3294, because that is the code for upstairs.
That code changes every run, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, it does. And also, the second floor door code changes depending what puzzle difficult, or I don't know if it's puzzle difficulty or regular or other difficulty thing that I'm forgetting. But I'm not sure what difficulty changes the second door or second floor door code. And now we go and run to S12 to listen to a phone call. Also, nurses.
While we're running here, maybe Speth, if you could remind us what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here for Blackheart's Boston Fund, for those of you who are just tuning in during this incredible Silent Hill 3 run. And Blackheart's Boston Fund is a mutual aid fundraiser that's been organized to help out a wonderful friend of the Frame Fatales, Stardew Valley, and overall speedrunning community, Blackheart Wings, also known as Gabby. She's going to be moving to Boston soon and going through a major life change. So this is to help her afford travel, housing, and other basic necessities. So everyone here has come together, runners, volunteers, and all of you viewers to help her out and help her live the life she wants to live. So I will happily say that every single time. We're all so happy to be here to help out with such an incredible cause. And also as a reminder too, we are currently trying to get to a $3,000 milestone tonight. And if we manage to do that in the next couple of runs, so we have a couple of hours left for that, this run, and then 2 more after this. If we hit $3,000 before the end of tonight, we will unlock some extra marathon for everyone and do an extra boss rush at the end of the Metroid Dread run that's happening later this evening. So please get your donations in so we can hit that milestone and unlock more marathon for everyone. So everybody loves more speedrunning.
Exactly. And of course, we're running through a very rusted hallway with very functioning gates. And the gate that I just went through, you need the one to fall in order for the other one to rise. And oh no, we're trapped. Oh, but don't worry, Culty Symbol sends us to the Hell Hospital, and we're going to meet a very fine friend known as Mr. Core Strength. Why is he called Mr. Core Strength? Take a look at his legs, take a look at his arms. You can see that they're not offering much support. Therefore, using our deductive skills, we can deduce that it is his core strength keeping him afloat. Also, green shoe, everybody. Pay attention to the green shoe, and now you cannot unsee it. You're welcome. And now we're just running through, and the Slurpers make a return here in just a moment. Huzzah! And then when it comes to using the elevator, we want to go to the first floor, or the second floor first, third floor, then basement 3, then first floor. Very
That
good.
green
Some
shoe
runners
nerds. Sorry, go on.
Some people will go to basement 3 first, but when I first started, I didn't realize that elevators pause the IGT or LRT now. So I thought, well, second floor doesn't take as long, and logically you would think that going from second to third, that makes sense as well. So, yeah, that all makes sense. Trying to use real-world logic in a video game. What is this? I don't know, but it is a thing. And then we are going to equip the perfume, not for anything in the hospital, but something for the amusement park as we go back through. Yes. And then, of course, we're avoiding the Slurpers, because very important. And we needed to, have a bag of blood for letting something happen down on the first floor. But first, we need to grab the key to unlock the door to go see Leonard. So that's exactly what we're going to do. There we go. Now, there is some shenanigans that we can pull to make Leonard not swim. If Leonard swims, that usually will kill a PB, because he takes forever, and it's not very nice. He shouldn't swim, but unfortunately he does. Also, it doesn't make sense that he can swim, as you're about to see. Pay very close attention to the following. We fire. You might notice that the water... Oh, wait, the water kind of goes up. Okay, never mind. I told lies when we did practice runs. It's fine. Anyway.
It's cool.
He's not swimming. This is good.
We love this for you. So Leonard, as our third boss, nice! And this is usually the run killer if he does swim, because you need to wait for him to resurface so you can shoot him. Abby managed to make it so that he doesn't swim, but as she was pointing out, it's an otherwise kind of shallow pool of water. So how is he swimming? Apparently, it does account for the physics of his rather large body.
Yes, because it looks like he at least has 2 feet on Heather, maybe more. So it's like, sir, how are you swimming in such shallow water? And now we're running back to the hotel because we must. And of course, following the things that we saw, like the blue car and everything. And also there is now bees that are walking throughout the streets.
Our favorite. Shout outs to bees.
Yes.
No sarcasm whatsoever.
Heal to keep maximum speed. This is the last opportunity you would have to heal if you didn't heal directly after the ice cream truck. And of course, we've got dogs just chilling. Who doesn't love dogs just chilling?
I mean, if you don't want dogs to chill, donate to Faint the Dog for the Pokemon Scarlet incentive. But the thing with healing is that it apparently heals your entire stamina meter, not just your health when you heal, which is why Abby can use that to keep running at full speed.
Indeed. And then somehow Vincent has access to our hotel room, which, well, depending on what you know, which is that in Silent Hill 1, if this is the same motel as Silent Hill 1, all the doors are unlocked anyway. However, we do know that this is the same motel from Silent Hill 2, because Silent Hill 2 and 3 share a lot of the same things. The hospital layout is actually the same, it's just how we operate in the hospital is different for both. Whereas in Silent Hill 2, you get access to the staircase right away, but not the elevators, and whereas Silent Hill 3, we get access to the elevators, but not the staircase right away. And now, is there anybody a fan of bunnies? Because we're about to see a lot of bunnies. So if anybody's got any bunny emotes or anything, now would be the time to use them. Because...
Please get all your bunnies emotes in chat.
Because we're back in the Lakeside Amusement Park. And we're almost at our favorite part of the game, chat.
Oh.
I hope you're ready.
Those bunnies didn't look okay.
No, they've got a bit of red on them. And more bunnies. And even more bunnies.
They've all got red.
And we unfortunately got a long key, which is fine. There we go. And also there's a lot of healing items here as well. So the reason we use the perfume is so that that closer right there can get out of our way. Because if you don't use the perfume, he becomes a little bit of a brick wall, which is fun for nobody. And of course, the way you're supposed to complete this is that when you're having the nightmare, you don't turn off the roller coaster and you end up getting hit by the roller coaster and then wake up. So Heather, based on the nightmare, knows that she needs to turn off the roller coaster, so that's exactly what she's going to do right now. However, we're in a haunted amusement park, so of course, everything is not what it seems.
Because at the beginning of the game, that dream that you had was just Heather going through this. It was a premonition, really. Except we got ourselves punched to death by a mascot instead of knocked by a roller coaster.
Indeed. And now, I hope everyone is ready, because welcome to the Borley Haunted Mansion. We're so glad you came. Please come inside and look around. When you feel you're ready, then go through the door.
Please come inside.
On extra new game, we can skip all this dialogue. However, on new game, we have to wait for the dialogue to finish for each room. So it is just sitting here and waiting. Usually this is the perfect time to hydrate. So that's what we're going to do. As we just sit here, waiting.
And while we're hydrating, Spef, I'm going to give you the chance to not hydrate.
Oh, thank you so much.
Whatever you've got, please throw it.
Yeah, well, what I do have is, once again, another reminder that we are going for our goal of $3,000 by the end of tonight. So get those donations in. We've still got plenty of time to reach the goal, so, no rush. However, it would be really great to see it. And you can also put it in towards that incentive to pet the dog or faint the dog, of course, in Pokemon Scarlet. As you've heard before, we here in the Silent Hill 3 speedrun right now are not big fans of the dog. The dogs here are not very nice to us. Oh boy, that was actually very scary. The dogs are not very nice to us, nor is that horse hanging from a ceiling. Great, fantastic. So we here are saying, hey, maybe we should paint that dog. But if you really want to pet that dog and make sure that dog gets pet, you can also put your donations in towards that incentive. But hydrate is the last thing I'm going to say. Everyone remember to hydrate and get yourself a drink too. Get yourself a snack while we all have a little bit of spare time on our hands.
Now, an extra new game, you do have to make Danny fall in order to continue. So Danny still needs to fall regardless. Also, an extra new game. The second he says, I'm so sorry, the mechanism is broken, you see, it wasn't supposed to stop there, I assure you, then you can go through the door. But on New Game, we have to wait for him to say, I hope you've enjoyed your tour. Please come back anytime. Or if you prefer, we could come and visit you instead. Then we can continue. And oh no, we're being chased by a red light. If we get hit by the red light, we die. We don't want to die, so we're going to run away from the red light. Run as fast as we can as he continues his monologue. However, his monologue is going to be cut short as we go through the door. And unfortunately, he doesn't continue it in this screen, which is really unfortunate.
You see, the spirits just didn't want you to leave.
Indeed. And there we go. We have finally exited the poorly haunted mansion. Oh, look, some closer friends have decided to come and visit. But now we're going to go and pick up a red shoe that's in the middle of a platform and makes absolutely no sense that there's just a random red shoe sitting in the middle of a platform inside of a haunted amusement park. It's kind of weird. Also, bunnies.
Hi.
Bunnies are still all around. So we need to grab the chain. Then the red shoe. And then grab the shotgun shells and the final health drink of the run. Again, bunnies. And then we run. And then here's another puzzle that will mess with you. You would think you want to sit right on the handle, but no. You want to actually go to the door. Because the handle, the game goes, what are you trying to do? And it's like, well, I'm trying to use logic here, video game, but apparently you don't want logic. There we go. We have found Douglas, who has unfortunately broken his leg. And then we go in here to grab a doll head. Now you may be thinking, why did we grab a doll head? Because this is how we solve the puzzle, because it's all about fairy tales, you see. We have Cinderella, so shoe makes sense. But then we have Snow White. Why doll head? Take a good hard look at the shape of the doll head and everything will make sense. Because you may know that it looks like a certain thing. A certain object that Snow White takes a bite out of. And now we're about to fight evil horses because of course. So here's why, or the difference between no QS, QL, and true glitchless. This is a thing we do in QSQL. It skips the horses. Startup. And now we have to shoot 11 horses.
This carousel, the horses are alive. It's actually called the Happy Carousel. I don't feel like it's very happy, but you know, semantics. You may also see that the horses are spewing a kind of gas. That's toxic, and you gotta shoot all the horses before you die from the toxic gas. So that's what Abby's doing right now. The horses are fine.
Also, talking to the horses pauses the timer, both LRTA and IGT. LRTA, of course, is loadless real-time attack. IGT is in-game time, in case you've never heard those terms before. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Yay! So the horses have started up. We do the pause thing again to skip the startup of this cutscene. Huzzah! And now we fight our evil clone.
So Abby mentioned Alessa earlier when we had those game spoilers. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Again, Alessa is this boss is called the Memory of Alessa, and as you may notice, Alessa just looks like a darker-haired version of us. Why Abby sort of go on?
Heather's natural hair color is not blonde.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes. Her natural hair color is black, so that is a thing.
So that's just straight up Heather there. Actually, that's the real Heather there.
Yes, and Alessa has been defeated. We are now in the final section of the game, the church. Also, you may notice that Heather shares a very similar outfit to a certain Resident Evil character. Cough, Ashley! I'm sorry, I just had a terrible cough there. Yes, you may have noticed that they somewhat have very similar outfits. I'm sure that the two are just coincidentally wearing green skirts and orange turtlenecks. And wearing brown boots, of course. It's all pure coincidence. So now we have to go collect 5 cards to unlock a door. And also, we just ran into Claudia again. In that cutscene, Heather tries to be like, yes, I am once again Alyssa, blah blah blah, but she sees through that ruse. And now we have the other glitch. This is called, I call it Ghost Girl Skip. Other people in the community call it footsteps. So we're leaving the door, and it's a 60% chance or 66% chance, I'm not sure exactly what percent chance, to get her to leave after 3 exits, or 3 attempts. Basically, you either have to sit there and wait for her to get to her destination to move on. My apologies for that. Or, you know, you exit 3 times. You have to walk in at least 2 steps for that to work. It can go up to, I've had it go up to 12, but apparently doing it 6 times is still faster than waiting for her to get to her destinations. And here we go, grabbing the next card, as well as all of these wonderful shotgun shells.
But that footsteps or Ghost Girl glitch, and Ghost Girl because you can hear her crying, is only a thing in no quick save, quick load runs. In quick save, quick load, you can skip it, and true glitchless runs, well, it's a glitch, so you don't do it.
Correct. For a quick save, quick load, what you would do is you would hit quick save and then quick load, and it just allows you to skip it, period. It just ends, and it's like, oh, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And then there we go, grab the key. This is Alyssa's bedroom, by the way, that we just exited and stole a key from.
We didn't steal it, it was our bedroom. We're Alyssa, right? But we did skip mentioning this, so I just wanted to bring up, after the carousel, you might be wondering, why do we go here? This is the church. This is the church of the cult that we've been sort of like ducking and dodging the entire time. The glowing red symbols on the wall, that's the mark of Samael. Samael is the god that the cult worships. And those are also our save points in the Silent Hill games. And can I do the spoiler, or do you want to do the spoiler, Abby?
You can do the spoiler.
Okay. Well, the reason why the cult wants us is because they believe we're gonna give birth to the god. And so, now that we're here, and and we have God in our body at this point. We're just trying to figure out a way to get God out of our body, which is actually the thing that Abby just read about in the game.
And fun fact, we've had access to the Aglophonus the entire game.
Wait, we have?
Yes. It's in her necklace that she's
Oh,
had
that's
on.
right. The one her dad gives her.
Yes.
Once again, this game is all about safety. In this
Indeed.
case, protect yourself.
And also, Claudia has been slowly trying to make Heather mad because Claudia believes that the angrier Heather becomes, the more powerful God shall become. Also, red room, red bubbles everywhere.
You know, if you ever considered lava lamp a design choice for your personal room.
And then there we go. There was desk skip or desk bounce. And then there's the 5th card. And also Mr. Core Strength has been hanging around. He's been following us all game because he's secretly an angel, believe it or not. And he's looking out for us. As a matter of fact, if we die around his areas, he will drag us and bring us back to life. Of course, it's still game over, but he will drag us and bring us back to life kind of deal. So that's also a thing. Oh, yes. And there we go. Heading on down. And run away from the bees, not the bees.
They are loud.
Yes. Yes, they are. Now, the following door that's about to happen depends on your difficulty. This is evil difficulty, easy difficulties door, which is High Priestess on the bottom left, the moon top right, sorry, I meant right. I'm terrible at directions. That's what happens when one of your arms doesn't work, and it's fine. So we're running. This is the worst room in the whole game, by the way, because of that hallway. Just because of how the camera turns, it changes their movement all the time. And here we go. We are now getting rid of God out of our body, but then Claudia takes God, and Volteal grabs her and brings her down. That's Mr. Core Strength's real name. And then God takes 14 shots, provided we see no sparks, to kill. We are currently at 4. Well, now at 4. So it's shoot, hit kind of thing. So it's like we're taking hits. And again, because God does quite a bit of damage each time, that's why we need those healing items. Because you may notice the little indicator on the bottom right going when it's super flashing. That basically means next hit kills you.
God is also our final boss, by the way, so time will be coming up shortly.
Yes. And that is time. Congratulations. You have witnessed Silent Hill 3 in its entirety. And of course, Heather is very upset and angry because she really wanted to get revenge against Claudia but couldn't, so she takes it out on God by kicking it in the head several times.
Normal teenage girl stuff.
Indeed. However, I believe we have met an incentive, so we'll have to skip on the ending and do the incentive. I hope you're ready for the most incredible thing you'll ever hear, ever, for a Silent Hill game. Because it's about to happen.
Quick, I want to shout out everyone who helped raise $300 we needed to meet this incentive. Once again, all of that is going to help fund Gabby's move to Boston. So thank you for giving us this fantastic thing that we're about to see.
Yes. And because I'm also doing the Princess Heart transformation, Zoku, would you like to tell the fine people where they can find you?
Well, hi, I'm Zokubun. Sometimes I stream, but mostly I just kind of like watching people do speedruns and helping out in charity events. Thank you so much for letting me join you and hang out here with you, Abby.
And thank you. Now, who here is a fan of Sailor Moon? Because get ready for this. That's right, there's magical girl stuff going on here. And shoot. Sexy beam, shupatsu. So yes, like I said, Heather gets laser beams at some point. You can do this without Princess Heart, by the way. It's totally doable.
There's a difference in the name, but depending on whether or not you're wearing the Princess Heart costume, isn't there?
Yes, it's Sexy Beam when in Princess Heart, and it's Heather Beam when in Heather. But now, are you all ready? 'Cause it's time to go see the UFO ending.
Listen, something crazy is
Now, if you're wondering why James is here, by the way, it's because chronologically James gets kidnapped by Harry and the aliens in Silent Hill 2, so it makes sense that he's here.
and that's
Just hiding behind the curtain.
Believe that. And haha, kicks the board in half.
Oh, Dad, you're the
Coolest.
coolest.
And then the alien forces go to Silent Hill, and they just blow it up, because of course they do. So we never go to Silent Hill in the UFO ending. And then we get this lovely song, which also asks us, aren't we tired of UFO endings? The answer is no. No, we're not. Now, because I am also playing this in Japanese, the English translation is not up at the top. If this was in English, there would be English at the top, and then there's the kanji and romanji on the bottom. So that is also a thing. But witness the best song in the video game. So get your jam emotes out, everybody, because now is the time to jam. Let me tell ya. A 1, 2, go, Nana. Unfortunately, Zoko has decided to say that she won't sing, so I guess I have to do it.
I believe in you, Abby. The
Though
champion
I
of
can't sing the
karaoke.
best. No uta, omenda de tao, omenda de uta mimasu yo. Claudia, honto yashishi o-san da. Again, fast parts too fast for me. By the way, they're singing about each individual character that we meet in the game.
Okoru to kowai.
And you said you wouldn't sing.
This is beautiful.
Wasn't gonna leave you hanging. Silent Hill no uta, minna de utao. Minna de utaimashou.
Vincento,
ヴィンセント、本当は優しい親思い。おほんのでおばさんの手とか引いてるし。わがままだよ。The thing you may be able to tell is that this is 100% in the spirit of drunken businessman karaoke.
It's true, because they do progressively get more drunk.
みんなで歌いましょう。So to do this properly, please give your best drunk impression.
No.
Douglas 本当は探偵じゃないんだ。朝とかやたら早し磯の香りするし。それはね、魚屋さんだから。
Also, you may notice in the credits that Heather is voiced by Heather Morris.
Silent Hill の歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。ヘザ本当はバツ一日の母。一日だと大変だし、パートも行けないとしちゃいし。でさ、ヤンママだから。
And that's the and then it's gonna go Silent Hill no uta.
みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。Silent Hill の歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。
And then everybody progressives die. It's very sad. And that is the end of the UFO run. But it's not the end of the marathon. There are many more runs to come, but thank you all for having me. If you wish to find me, you can find me on twitch.tv/Abbiescorner. I'm currently running through a lot of Illbleed because I'll be running that at Flame Fatales. I will also be doing a 3-ray race of Silent Hill Shattered Memories coming up with my Twitch team. Between Schmumbler, who you heard last run, and Exterior Emma. I will also be running this again on Monday. I will be doing UFO ending on Hotfix for the first Express Lane. I also have a podcast called Speedrunners and Coffee, where I interview speedrunners about their speedrun history. You can find that on Spotify, YouTube, and many other places. You can also find me on Twitter at Abby_Brander and on Co-Host, which is where all the speedrunners seem to be hanging out whenever Twitter wants to die, at Abbiescorner. Yes, thank you all for having me. And of course, thank you again, Zoku, for not leaving me to die for the for the Silent Hill song, and also for joining me on commentary.
Thank you for having me, Abby. And friendos, again, if you like women speedrunners, if you like horror speedrunners, please absolutely give Abby a follow at Abbiescorner. Thank you so much for having us, Blackheart's Fast and Fun.